Hey everyone. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to talk to you guys about animation and the Oscars. I have a huge issue with how the Academy Awards represent animation. Huge issue. And I'm going to kind of go over that with you right now. But before I do that, I just want to kind of give you a brief little history on animation and the Oscars. So back in 1991, the very first animated film was nominated for Best Picture. At that time, they didn't have Best Animated Picture. It was just Best Picture. Okay? That film was Beauty and the Beast. Well deserved. Beauty and the Beast is a gorgeous film. It's, in my opinion, the crown jewel of Disney feature animation. And it very much deserved that nomination. Okay? A few years later, about a decade later, in 2001, the Academy decided, okay, we're going to go ahead and create an entire category for animation. We're going to call it the Best Animated Film category. Now, a lot of you are probably thinking, well, that's great. You know, it gives animation a chance, to be recognized. And yeah, at face value, that's probably true, okay? However, I think it's being recognized in the wrong way. And I think the Best Animated Film category is a huge mistake. And I think it's also a huge slap in the face to animation in general. Okay? You're probably thinking, why? Why is that a huge slap in the face? This is my thoughts on this whole thing. A good film is a good film. Okay? What they're doing, what the Academy is doing by having its own, best animated category, is they're essentially creating their version of the kiddie table. Okay, so all the real films over here, but we'll give you guys best animated film over here. It's like the kiddie table. It kind of reinforces that whole notion that it's just for kids, but here's a pat on the back, nice job guys. That's basically what they're doing. Okay, they're basically saying indirectly, you guys can't sit with us. You're over here, we're over here. I don't like that at all. I think that these films, a lot of animated films, have gone on to be some of the most successful and some of the most critically acclaimed films of all time. Whether it's Lion King, Toy Story, Inside Out, Up, WALL-E, whatever you want to say. Okay, a lot of these films have been very well done. Whether it's animation, live action, doesn't matter. Okay, a good film is a good film. And by giving animation its own category, like I said before, they're creating a kiddie table and they're marginalizing animation. Why can't Lion King? Why can't Toy Story? Why can't, I don't know, Moana or Zootopia? Why can't these films just be nominated for Best Picture, period? Zootopia is an incredible film, an absolute incredible film. So why should it have to sit in a category with a bunch of kiddie flicks? Why can't Zootopia just be a good movie and be put in there with the rest of the Best Picture nominations? Okay, it irks me. These are society in general, we're still kind of stuck in that mode where like animation's for kids. Yeah, we'll go ahead and as adults we can enjoy a movie like Toy Story, but at the end of the day it's for kids. I completely disregard that kind of mentality. I completely disregard that. I do not agree with that at all. And that's still kind of the mentality. It's improving, but that's still kind of the mentality that's out there. If you ever watch a review of an animated film by a critic, like 99.9% of the time, they always mention kids movie, family film, your kids are going to love it. It's always kids. And kids will probably love these films, but just because kids love these films doesn't make them kiddie films. Kids also love playing sports, but we don't consider sports like a children's thing or kiddie. So it's the same kind of thing. While kids enjoy animation, that doesn't make it a kiddie genre. Okay, animation can be anything. It's not a genre. It's a medium. So by giving it its own category, best animated film, it diminishes it. You know, so these wonderful films like Zootopia, Moana, even Frozen, and you know, like Kubo, and all these great films, they're kind of forced into this category with this other stuff that's like lesser value, and like, you know, like Minions and Shark Tale and all this other stuff, and it diminishes it. You know, it really does. There's no reason why a film like Zootopia can't be nominated for Best Picture. There's no reason why. Why? Because it's animation? That doesn't make any sense to me. It's not a children's film. It's kid friendly. It's not a children's film though. And, you know, with this, you know, best animated film category that they've created, it marginalizes animation and makes it like, you know, the kiddie table, and makes it separate. You know, these films are good, you know, for a kid's film, but, you know, we're over here, the real movies are over here, basically. That's kind of like the mentality. So that's my issue with the best animated film category. I feel it really marginalizes animation. I feel that it's not good for the industry. I feel that there's no reason why, you know, a good animated film can't just be nominated for Best Picture. And, you know, in rare circumstances, they are. You know, I think Toy Story 3 was nominated in 2010, I believe, and then I think Up was also nominated. But those nominations for Best Picture in animation are far and few between. Usually the Academy will just throw these films into the Best Animated category, and they sit there with films like Nut Job and Ice Age, you know, 7 and Minions. You know, it's a shame. It really is a shame. The Oscars is kind of, the Academy, they're kind of known to be a little snooty, so I can kind of see why this is happening, but it's disappointing. It really is. These films are every bit as good as a live action film. They're not just kid movies, and to see them kind of marginalized and just kind of thrown into this one little category, it does bother me. As an animation fan, it really does bother me. But comment below. Let me know what you think about my thoughts on the best animated film category at the Oscars. Am I off base? I mean, am I taking this a little too seriously? Is it something that maybe I should just kind of like, you know, not really think about? Or am I correct in this? Is it something that, you know, does marginalize animation and those good animated films that deserve higher recognition? So go ahead and comment below. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and have a wonderful day.